JD Vance is the most unpopular vice presidential nominee in modern American history. Yes, his strange policy positions and even worse comments about Democrats, especially calling Democratic officials childless cat ladies, have led him to be incredibly underwater in approval rating polls. And it has led Democrats to start a new narrative about both JD Vance and Donald Trump, calling them, and I think this is a perfect name, weird. They are just weirdos. And MSNBC compiled a clip of Democrats calling out Trump and Vance, calling them weird, that I want to get to before we see JD Vance being confronted by a reporter over his weirdness, and his reaction was just so strange. But we're going to get to that in a minute. First, let's check out this clip.
Just in the past few days, Democrats have kind of organically settled on a new attack line against Donald Trump and JD Vance. Basically, these guys are just plain weird.
You know there's something wrong with people when they talk about freedom, freedom to be in your bedroom, freedom to be in your exam room, freedom to tell your kids what they can read. That stuff is weird. They come across weird. They seem obsessed with this.
We're using this fake living room to talk to you about a super weird idea from JD Vance.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's quite weird.
But what was weird was him joking about racism today and then talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew?
On the other side, they're just weird. I mean, they really are.
Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
I love this narrative. Yes, Republicans are scary and dangerous, but they're also weird and beatable. They want to be in your bedroom. They want to be in your doctor's office, and we can't let them. We can't let Project 2025 allow Republicans to strip us of our fundamental freedoms because they are just weird. They are just weird. And JD Vance was asked about his weirdness. He was confronted by a reporter who asked why he was so weird, if he heard that people are now calling him weird. And his awkward reaction is something that you just have to see.
He has a new insult out this week that her and her husband have been using towards you, calling you weird. Does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that?
No, not at all. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Obviously, JD trying to laugh it off there, but I think it really hits close to home, and he was actually made pretty uncomfortable by it. And his response, of course, was really awkward, but Midas Touch put together a little funnier edit of that, so I want us to check it out.
He has a new insult out this week that her and her husband have been using towards you, calling you weird. Does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that? Does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that? Does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that?
The weird little shake of his head, the ha-ha, the fake laugh, it's just, it really reminds me of Ron DeSantis. Two guys with horrible policy positions and zero charisma. Just zero charisma from both of them. But it's not just that JD Vance is weird in public and says strange things. Like I said, he is the least popular vice presidential nominee in history. And CNN did some reporting on this that I thought was really good. So let's check it out.
Does JD Vance help Trump in those states?
Not according to the favorable ratings. His favorable rating is below 30%. His unfavorable rating is up above 40%. That creates a net favorability rating of minus 16 points. He does worse in his home region at minus 16 points than he does in the average of all polls, which is a minus 5-point net favorability rating. So the people who know him best, the region that knows him best, they like him even less than America likes him. And of course, as you pointed out, again in that kind intro, is he is historically unpopular for a VP nominee coming out of his first convention as the VP nominee.
All right, so
just historically bad from JD Vance, and he is becoming a drag on Donald Trump now. We didn't think Donald Trump could get more unpopular, but JD Vance and his historic terrible polling is doing just that. And it's not just Democrats calling out JD Vance. Celebrities, actresses, actors are calling out JD Vance and his terrible policy positions. And I want to show you this mega viral clip posted by comedian and actress Chelsea Handler, who just absolutely torched JD Vance. So let's check it out.
Oh, hey, as you might have heard, Donald Trump's running mate and future star of his own Dateline episode, JD Vance, is ruffling quite a few feathers this week.
We're effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies. Who look at Kamala Harris, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
Listen up, you wingnut elegy. This country is still controlled by men in systems that were set up by men that are carefully crafted to continue to benefit men. So to put it in women-hating terms, you'll understand you're being hysterical. But let's be clear, there's no correlation between childless people and the presidency. For example, our very first United States president, Mr. George Washington, didn't have children. In fact, he had 2 stepchildren. That's right, just like someone else I know. And to your point about Kamala not being fit because she's not a mother, I'd like to remind you that no president in the history of the United States has ever been a mother. But maybe if she had 5 kids with 3 different men and a scandalous affair with a porn star and was convicted felon, that would be more palatable to Republican men. I mean, my God, are we tired? You sad, diet, Mountain Dew, drinking, couch humping, dolphin porn aficionado, all of us childless cat and dog ladies are going to go from childless and crushing it to childless and crushing you in November. And before you tell me he didn't really a couch, spare me. I grew up in New Jersey in the 80s where everyone had a couch in their basement, and I know a couch when I see one.
I love the couch memes and the dolphin memes about JD Vance, looking up his old weird tweets. Everything, again, about this guy is just so weird. And I think we should call Republicans out for that, because our government is not about stripping away fundamental freedoms and implementing these strange policies that Republicans want to. It's about making Americans' lives better. It's about investing in infrastructure, lowering prescription drug costs, battling climate change. This should be the work of our government. It shouldn't be doom and gloom like Republicans and their hypocrisy. It should be like the vision that Kamala Harris is laying out of a positive future in which we enjoy the hard work of governing because it is important. But Chelsea Handler was not the only famous actress to call out JD Vance. Jennifer Aniston, also, who talked about her struggles going through the process of IVF, also came out against JD Vance with the comments that he has made in the past about mothers and his, of course, anti-IVF position. And she had this to say. Jennifer Aniston is blasting Senator JD Vance for his resurfaced 2021 comments about women such as Vice President Kamala Harris who have not given birth. I truly can't believe this is coming from a potential vice president of the United States, the morning show star wrote on her Instagram story on Wednesday. All I can say is, Mr. Vance, I pray your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day. Aniston, who has shared her personal IVF journey in the past, continued, I hope she will not need to turn to IVF as a second option, because you are trying to take that away from her too. Of course, the Republican Party is one of deep hypocrisy, but it's just frankly so crazy to me that they can attack people's lifestyle choices and attack women who are not mothers to their own children, but at the same time, while attacking maybe what they consider an unconventional family, just a regular American family, there is no conventional family, while attacking people, they're also trying to restrict women's reproductive freedom, restrict the right to IVF. They are battling this war on 2 fronts, and they're fighting on both bad sides. And of course, the Republican Party, like I said, is a party of complete hypocrisy, claiming to back the blue and care about the police, but they sent a violent mob to attack Capitol Police officers on January 6th, while at the same time nominating a criminal to be their presidential nominee. The Republican Party is one that says they care about freedom and patriotism, but they attack a woman's right to choose, her freedom to choose, and at the same time, they say America is this terrible country when they attack President Biden, clearly not very patriotic. But this contrast between the bright future that Kamala Harris wants to push to and a joy of governing and the doom and gloom and pushing us back and stripping of freedoms that Donald Trump and JD Vance are all about, have led voters to really reconsider, and not just independent voters, but Republicans as well, are considering voting for Kamala Harris. We've seen polling showing that at least 5% of Trump voters are now moving over to Kamala Harris. And that's only in the first week of this campaign that we're seeing tremendous excitement actually move Republican voters. And CNN did a little bit of reporting on 2 voters in Michigan who said they were going to vote for Donald Trump. They were locked in for Trump for this election, but now they're having second thoughts. Let's check that out.
You are a Republican.
Yes.
And in 2020, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
2016 also?
Yes.
And now this year, had you planned to vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I did. Now, tables might turn.
With Kamala Harris?
Yes.
So you're not sure?
Not sure. So I gotta research a little more.
But you like Kamala Harris?
Yes, I do.
Macomb County, where nearly 900,000 people live, has gone for Donald Trump the last 2 presidential elections, and Barack Obama for the 2 before that. In the last 20 presidential elections, Republicans have won 10, Democrats have won 10. So we took a tour of this key county to see what voters make of the dramatic developments in the presidential race. What we saw was a lot of reflection. John Hebert is a retired Marine, a Vietnam War veteran, a political independent.
Before Kamala Harris got in the race, were you undecided, or did you know who you were going to vote for president?
I was definitely leaning towards Trump before she got in.
And now how do you feel now that she's in?
I'm waffling a little bit.
This is the Kamala Harris effect. Enthusiasm and excitement about a young, fresh face of the Democratic Party, someone creating this contrast with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, someone who is not just old in his age and is finally being critiqued by the media for his clear cognitive decline. It's not just that, but the age of his ideas, they are the past. The chaos and divisiveness of his presidency is the past. And like I always say on this show, his Project 2025 isn't about 2025. It's about pushing us back to 1925. This is someone who does not have a vision for the future. Just look at the MAGA majority in the House. They have been the least productive Congress in modern history because they have no agenda. They have no policies. All they want to do is block President Biden from passing historic legislation and make up culture wars to distract from the fact that they don't actually care to do their jobs. And that's why we're seeing this tremendous shift to Kamala Harris. That's why we're seeing this huge excitement, not just with young voters like myself, but voters of all kind in both political parties. That's why the huge fundraising hauls are coming in for Kamala Harris from first-time donators, and we're also seeing first-time volunteers. There is this wave of excitement that I am so excited to see continue, and I hope you will be a part of it too. And if you want to be a part of that wave of excitement, pushing back against Donald Trump and supporting Kamala Harris, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You join what we are building on this channel. We are a new channel, but we have already blown past 90,000 subscribers. I'm going to say that again, 90,000 subscribers in just over 2 weeks of this new channel. And I think pretty soon we could maybe hit 100,000. So if you haven't already and want to help us hit that goal, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like, hit that thumbs up on this video. It really goes a long way in supporting what we're doing, and it would mean the world to me. It really would. I'm so grateful for y'all's support. And until next time, I'll see you soon.